Are you familiar with a lot of conspiracies? Well, no matter how familiar you are, there are literally hundreds more that you have no idea about. So I'm super excited to be talking to you about the conspiracy iceberg. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the conspiracy iceberg has hundreds of conspiracies organized into different tiers. The deeper you go, the darker the conspiracies, and the higher the chance that you will learn information that will change your perception of everything permanently. Hi, I'm V, and today I'll be filling your curious craniums with the top 5 hidden theories from the conspiracy iceberg. Number 5 on the skyline level is sacred geometry. Starting out with the top layer of the iceberg, the least scary layer, I have selected the topic of sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is a captivating and mystical concept that explores the hidden patterns, mathematical proportions, and symbolic meanings found within the natural world and ancient architecture. It's a fascinating blend of mathematics, spirituality, and art, which has fascinated thinkers, artists, and mystics for centuries. At its core, sacred geometry circulates around the idea that certain geometric shapes and ratios are embedded with a sense of divinity, connecting the physical and spiritual realms. One of the most prominent and universally recognized symbols in sacred geometry is the flower of life, a complex, symmetrical pattern formed by interlocking circles. It's believed to represent the cycle of creation and the fundamental structure of the universe. The golden ratio, often denoted by the Greek letter phi, is another popular and vital element within the realm of sacred geometry. This number, approximately equal to 1.618, appears in numerous natural phenomena, from seashells to sunflowers, and even in the Parthenon in ancient Greece. It's thought to convey balance, harmony, and aesthetic perfection. Aw, they're describing me. The relationship between numbers and geometry is a key focus on this discipline and belief. For example, the Fibonacci sequence, a series of numbers in which each number is the sum of two preceding ones, is very closely tied to sacred geometry. When these numbers are plotted as rectangles or curves, they create the golden spiral, which can be found throughout the natural world in the growth patterns of plants, in animals, and even in space. Ancient cultures worldwide incorporated sacred geometry into their architecture, religious symbols, and art. The Egyptians used the mathematics of geometry to construct the pyramids, while the Chinese incorporated sacred geometry into their traditional feng shui principles. In Europe, cathedrals and churches often featured geometric designs with proportions to inspire a sense of awe and connection with the divine. Number 4. Surface level. The 23 Enigma. The 23 Enigma is a mind-boggling and kind of bizarre belief that centers around the number 23's uncanny significance in various aspects of life. This peculiar theory suggests that the number 23 holds a mystical and pervasive influence on world events, occurrences, and even on personal experiences. While it may sound like an outlandish notion, the 23 Enigma has managed to increase its proof of plausibility over the years. It's captured the imaginations of many theorists and enthusiasts of the mystical. The basic idea of the 23 Enigma gained prominence largely thanks to the film The Number 23. In the movie, the protagonist becomes obsessed with the number 23 and starts seeing it everywhere, leading to a debilitating spiral of paranoia and conspiracy. The film was a fictional thriller, but it drew inspiration from real-life anecdotes that fueled the 23 Enigma conspiracy. One of the most well-known instances of the 23 Enigma is the infamous 23-5 incident involving the writer William S. Burroughs. Burroughs believed that the number 23 had an unusual grip on his life, as he frequently encountered it in wildly unexpected places. The theory goes that many significant historical events, coincidences, and disasters are all somehow able to be traced back to the number 23. Supporters of this belief argue that the number's recurrence in history can't just be a mere chance. Some enthusiasts maintain that it's a mystical and hidden code, while others view it as an amusing and mind-bending thought experiment. The appeal of the 23 Enigma may lie in its capacity to make the mundane seem extraordinary, as proponents often interpret everyday occurrences through the lens of this cryptic number. I mean, we are in 2023, and let's be honest, this has not been a normal year for anyone. Whether you view it as an intriguing puzzle or an eccentric belief system, it reminds us of the tendency we all have to seek patterns and connections, even in the most unlikely places. So, next time you spot the number 23 in your daily life, maybe take some extra caution. You never know what events may follow. Number 3. Shallow water. Cicada 3301. The Cicada 3301 experiment and conspiracy is a perplexing internet puzzle that has captivated the minds of countless online sleuths and conspiracy theorists. It all began in January 2012 when a mysterious image surfaced on various internet forums, including 4chan and Reddit. The image contained a message that challenged participants to solve a complex cryptographic style puzzle. This image ended up starting what would become a short-lived annual online treasure hunt. The initial image posted by Cicada 3301 included a message message inviting individuals to embark on a quest to help their organization in finding highly intelligent individuals. Solving this puzzle led to a website with a list of coordinates around the world, prompting participants to physically visit these locations to discover further clues. These puzzles involved various cryptographic ciphers, riddles, and references to literature and obscure historical figures. For the next 2 years, on January 4th, Cicada 3301 would release a new puzzle. Each iteration increased in complexity. The puzzles required a deep knowledge of mathematics, literature, computer science, and music. Those who progressed through the stages were rewarded with additional clues and often found themselves invited to an even more private, exclusive community. Conspiracy theories surrounding Cicada 3301 began to grow dramatically, with many speculating its origins and purpose. Some theories suggest it's a recruitment tool for intelligence agencies like the CIA or M16, while others think it's a clandestine hacker group or even a social experiment conducted by a shadowy organization. Some participants have reported being approached by anonymous individuals claiming to be part of the group, adding an aura of mystery and intrigue. The question of who is behind Cicada 3301 and their ultimate goal remains unanswered to this day, at least to those who are outside of it. Number 2. The Deep End. The Voynich Manuscript. Often dubbed as the world's most mysterious book, the Voynich Manuscript has baffled scholars, cryptographers, and supernatural enthusiasts for centuries. This 15th century book is filled with peculiar, undecipherable text alongside intricate illustrations of unknown plants, strange creatures, and unidentifiable symbols. A wide range of theories have emerged in an attempt to decode its origin and purpose. One of the leading theories believes that the manuscript is a hoax created to deceive anyone who finds it. The intricate, unique script has led some to believe it's an elaborate cipher, but despite extensive efforts from many people and linguistic experts, no one has been able to crack it. The drawings of unfamiliar plants have led some to think it might be a botanical or medical text containing knowledge for herbal remedies or alchemical recipes. Another theory suggests that the Voynich manuscript could be a genuine but now lost language. Some researchers believe that it may have been written in a natural language and then encoded for secrecy. This idea is supported by the manuscript's linguistic characteristics, which appear consistent with language patterns. However, without a key to decipher the text, this remains speculative. Also, there's the theory, my favorite theory by the way, that believed the book belonged to extraterrestrial beings who spoke a completely unknown language, and the drawings and recipe depictions represent objects and wildlife that humans have never experienced. Why did the aliens leave this book with us? I'm not sure, but if this book teaches us anything, it's that we certainly do not understand aliens in the slightest, so we definitely wouldn't be able to assume their motive and reasoning. If the book is of alien origin, it would contain mounds of insight for what alien planets or languages would look like. Number 1. Very deep. The Panopticon. The Panopticon conspiracy displays a thought-provoking exploration of surveillance, control, and the relationship between individuals and institutions. This conspiracy all started with a concept created by philosopher and social theorist Jeremy Bentham in the early 1700s. The Panopticon is an architectural design, essentially a prison structure where inmates are housed in a circular building with cells facing the center, in which a single looming watchtower stands. The standout nature of the design lies in the fact that the inmates can't see the guard in the tower, who, conversely, can see all of the inmates at once. This asymmetry creates a sense of constant surveillance, making prisoners behave as if they are being watched all the time, even if they're not. This design was intended to be a model for efficient and cost-effective incarceration. Over time, the Panopticon concept evolved beyond the realm of physical prisons. French philosopher Michel Foucault popularized the Panopticon as a metaphor for the modern surveillance society in his 1975 book Discipline and Punish. He explained that this design represents the power dynamic in modern institutions, where surveillance is pervasive and individuals will adjust their behavior because they assume they're being watched. It's not just about prisons. This reaches into the nature of control in schools, workplaces, and governments. The Panopticon conspiracy theory extends even further from this concept, suggesting that powerful institutions, both public and private, are continuously monitoring and controlling our lives, often without our awareness or consent. It encompasses concerns about surveillance capitalism, government surveillance programs, and the complete erosion of privacy in the digital age. In recent years, revelations about mass surveillance programs like PRISM and the Cambridge Analytica scandal have fueled suspicions that the Panopticon is not just a theoretical framework, but instead, it is in fact a reality in today's world. Advocates for privacy rights and civil liberties have sounded alarms about the extent of surveillance and its implications for personal freedom. While the Panopticon conspiracy can border on the paranoid, it reminds us to be mindful of the trade-offs we make between security and privacy in our modern technology-driven society. I mean, we all kind of know that we're being constantly monitored. I mean, some of y'all may not, because some comments show that you definitely have no knowledge of what a digital footprint is, but whatever. Whether the Panopticon is a metaphor for modern society or a genuine conspiracy, it raises important questions about the dwindling boundaries of privacy, the grand influence of institutions, and about the dynamics of power and surveillance in the digital age. Cannot stress how little on the iceberg I was able to cover today. There are legitimately hundreds of different theories to cover, even lower down in the iceberg. And the further into the iceberg you delve, the further you begin to see just how little we actually know about the world we live in. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. What conspiracies from the iceberg are you interested in? Would you like me to cover any more of them? This iceberg is perfect for any curious minds out there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and of course, I hope you learned something. Keep it curious. Bye!